At 82, I thought I had seen it all. Life had taught me plenty about love, loss, resilience, and letting go. But of all the lessons I've collected over 8 decades, one regret still weighs heavily on my heart. And that is moving into a nursing home. It seemed reasonable at the time. Everyone, my children, my doctor, even my neighbors, said it was for the best. You'll be cared for, they told me. You'll be comfortable, safe, surrounded by support. I believed them. I truly did. But what no one told me was that moving into a nursing home isn't just a change of address. It's a change of everything. Your rhythm. Your privacy. Your independence. Your sense of self. And once you cross the threshold, leaving behind the home where memories lived and routines breathed, it's not as easy to come back as you might think. I know many of you are wrestling with this choice too. Maybe for yourself. Maybe for a parent you love. Maybe because everyone's telling you it's the smart thing to do. But before you make that move, please hear me out. Because if someone had told me these 6 truths back then, I might have made a different choice. Some of these might surprise you. Some may even upset you. But all of them, I learned the hard way. So stay with me until the end. Because if you or someone you care about is considering this step, these next few minutes might just change how you see the road ahead. Let's begin. Regret number 1, the quiet erosion of independence. A freedom lost, one quiet moment at a time. You might think the hardest part of moving into a nursing home is the size of the room, or the bland food, or the unfamiliar faces. But the real shock? It came quietly, like a whisper I didn't hear until it was too late. It was the moment I realized I was no longer in control of my own life. Back when I was still at home, I had a rhythm. My rhythm. I decided when to rise, when to eat, when to rest or not rest at all. If I wanted to take a walk under the evening sky, I just did. If I wanted toast at midnight, I made it. I could spend hours curled up in my favorite chair with a book that made the world disappear. But after the move, time no longer belonged to me. There was a schedule now. A schedule made by others. Breakfast at 7, hungry or not. Lights out by 10, sleepy or not. Want to go for a walk? You might need to wait for someone to be free. To get permission. To not be too late for lunch. Simple choices like what to wear, or whether I wanted soup or something else, began to feel like privileges, not rights. I still remember my first week. Waking up in a bed I didn't choose. Reaching for a book only to find it wasn't there. My bookshelf was gone. So was my chair. My kitchen. My clock. My life. Instead, I found beige walls, hospital sheets, and a silence I couldn't shake. A silence that told me, without words, this is not your world anymore. And that was the most painful realization. Because once you give up your independence, even just a little, you rarely get it back. You start to adapt. You stop asking what's for lunch, because there's no point. You stop planning your days, because they're already planned for you. You begin to blend into the system, not because you want to, but because you have to. And slowly, almost invisibly, you begin to lose yourself. So if you're considering this path, ask yourself, are you truly ready to let go of those small, beautiful freedoms? The quiet moments, the personal rituals that made life yours? Because once they're gone, you'll miss them more deeply than you ever imagined. Regret number 2, the feeling of being forgotten. When the world moves on and leaves you behind, there's a quiet kind of pain no one warns you about. It doesn't come from physical aches or medical charts. It creeps in slowly, through silence, through missed calls, through empty chairs during holidays. It's the aching realization that life outside has kept going without you. When I first moved in, everyone promised they'd visit often. And in the beginning, they did. My daughter came every weekend. My grandkids would stop by, bringing laughter and energy. For a while, I felt like I still belonged, like I hadn't vanished from the world I once knew. But slowly, almost invisibly, things changed. The visits grew farther apart. A phone call replaced a car ride. "Sorry, Dad, this week's been crazy. I'll come next Sunday." But next Sunday turned into next month, and sometimes, never came at all. Holidays were the hardest. They'd say they'd come. They meant to. But plans shifted, emergencies popped up, life happened. And suddenly, I was sitting alone in the common room, watching others stare at the door with the same quiet hope. Maybe today someone will remember me. It's not because they stopped loving me. No. It's because when you're not part of their daily lives, they begin to assume you're doing okay. That you're adjusting. That you don't want to be disturbed. But the truth is this. The longer you're in a nursing home, the easier it is to be forgotten. I remember one night, sitting on my bed, phone in hand, staring at my son's name on the screen, debating if I should call. I didn't want to be a burden. Didn't want to remind him that I was here, waiting for a visit that might never come. So I set the phone down. And in that moment, it hit me. This is what my life has become. Counting days. Wishing for a knock on the door. Hoping for a message, a voice, a reminder. That I still matter to someone. So if you're thinking about this path for yourself or a loved one, ask yourself this. Are you ready for that kind of loneliness? Because no matter how much your family loves you, once you're out of sight, the forgetting comes faster than you think. And if you're still here, listening to this right now, leave a comment below with the number 2. Let me know you're out there, that this voice didn't just fade into the noise. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Tap the bell icon so you won't miss the stories that still need to be heard. Regret number 3, losing the meaning of living. When rest becomes emptiness, and silence takes away purpose. When I moved into the nursing home, I thought I was simply changing my address. A new bed. A new routine. A quieter environment. But I didn't realize I was also leaving behind the reason I woke up each morning. At home, I had responsibilities. Little things, sure, but they were mine. Watering the plants. Brewing my own morning coffee. Straightening the cushions on the couch just the way I liked them. Even those small rituals gave shape to my days. They gave purpose to my time. But here, in this place where everything is done for you, those rituals disappeared. Meals? Served on schedule. Cleaning? Taken care of. Plants? Not mine anymore. No tools to use, no rooms to organize, no gentle duties waiting for me. At first, I told myself, this is nice. No more chores. No more errands. Just peace. But peace quickly turned into emptiness. The days felt longer. Not because I was doing more, but because I was doing nothing. And I saw it not only in myself, but in others. There was a man named George. He was 84. A former carpenter, hands built like oak, with eyes that used to light up when he talked about his garage. At home, he was always building something, shelves, toys, fixing anything that broke. But here? No tools. No garage. No need for a man with skill. I watched him wither. Not from age, but from the slow erosion of purpose. One day, he looked at me and said, I feel useless. And I knew exactly what he meant. Not sad. Not depressed. Just unneeded. Because once you no longer have something to care for, no project to pursue, no one who needs your effort, no reason to move, Your soul begins to slow down. Your mind softens. Your body follows. And eventually, you feel like just another resident in a place where the days pass. But nothing really happens. So before you choose this path, for yourself or someone you love, ask, what gives your life meaning today? Because in a nursing home, meaning doesn't come handed to you on a tray. It must be fought for, protected, rebuilt from the small pieces you can still hold on to. And make no mistake, it's not about filling time. It's about holding tightly to the reasons that make you feel alive. Regret number 4, declining health faster than I ever expected. When taking it easy quietly takes everything away. Before I moved into the nursing home, I thought I was doing fine health-wise, at least. Sure, I wasn't running marathons. But I could take care of myself. I could walk on my own, cook my meals, and keep up with my little daily routines. Grocery shopping. Stretching each morning. Walking around the house just to keep my legs moving. They weren't big things. But they were my things. And they kept me strong. But once I moved in, everything changed. At first, it felt like a luxury. Meals brought right to my room. No more chopping vegetables or standing over a stove. Just press a button and help would arrive. It was comfortable. It was convenient. But what I didn't realize was that the less I did for myself, the faster I began to weaken. I walked less. Then barely at all. My legs grew stiff. I sat more than I stood. And before long, getting out of a chair felt like climbing a mountain. The muscle I'd spent years maintaining just faded. Quietly. Quickly. And I wasn't alone. I watched others go through the same slow unraveling. People who once walked in confidently were now wheeled to the dining room. People who once dressed and moved independently now waited for help with even the smallest tasks. The more help we received, the more we forgot how to help ourselves. There was a woman named Alice. 82. Vibrant and full of life when she first arrived. She used to walk the perimeter of the building every day, always saying, "I'm not slowing down just because of a number." But a few months later, she wasn't walking anymore. Then came the walker. Then the wheelchair. One afternoon, she looked at me and said, "I don't even know when it happened. But I feel like I've aged 10 years in just a few months." And the truth is, she had. Because the moment you stop moving, your body begins to surrender. And in a place designed to make life easier, it becomes dangerously easy to forget. That movement isn't just about convenience. It's about survival. If only I had known how fast I'd decline, I would have pushed harder. Stood up more often. Stretched even when I didn't feel like it. Walked when it was easier to sit. Fought for my strength while I still had it. So if you're thinking about a nursing home, ask yourself, will you still have the will to move? When everything around you is designed to let you stay still? Because once you begin to slow down, getting back up may not be as simple as you think. And if you're still with me right now, and this message speaks to you, leave a comment below with the number 4. So I know you're still listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, so you won't miss the stories and insights we still have to share. Your support helps us keep creating content that informs, inspires, and hopefully, empowers you to stay strong in every way that matters. Regret number 5, losing my privacy and dignity. When your world no longer has doors you can truly close, there's something deeply personal about having your own space. Your own way. Your own timing. Your own quiet moments no one else can intrude on. At home, I had that. I could shut the door to my bedroom, sit in stillness if I needed it, and live my day the way I wanted to. Unrushed, unseen, uninterrupted. But here, in a nursing home, privacy becomes a luxury, not a given. And dignity? It's something you only realize you've lost once it's already gone. From the moment I arrived, it felt like someone was always watching. Staff walked in and out constantly. Room checks happened on schedule. Common spaces were rarely ever empty. Even the most personal tasks, dressing, using the bathroom, often required assistance. I knew they were doing their job. They were kind. But still, it's not easy to accept help with things you've done privately all your life. I remember my first week, feeling that sharp discomfort when I had to ask permission for something that used to be simple, like taking a shower. Sometimes I'd press the call button and wait longer than I thought I would, and hope I could still hold on. Even meals came with limitations. Didn't like what was on the tray today? Sorry, no substitutions. And then, there's the issue of roommates. Not everyone gets their own room. And sharing your living space with someone you didn't choose, someone with different habits, different needs, can be draining. I was fortunate. My roommate was kind. But not everyone is that lucky. I've heard the stories. Roommates who were loud, unclean, confused at night. Sleep becomes rare. Peace becomes fragile. And no matter how much you try to decorate, personalize, or make it yours, it never really feels like home. Dignity is hard to lose, but even harder to reclaim. And I didn't realize how much of it I'd surrendered until I was already too deep inside the system. When people knock, but don't always wait before coming in. When you're treated more like a case than a person. When your daily rhythm no longer belongs to you, but to a schedule you didn't create. It changes you. Little by little. You stop feeling like yourself. You become a name on a clipboard. So before you take this step, ask yourself, are you truly ready to give up the privacy and personal control you've known your whole life? Because once it slips away, it's far harder to get back than you might think. Regret number 6, leaving isn't as easy as you think. Sometimes, what begins as just for now becomes forever. When I first moved into the nursing home, I told myself it was only temporary. Just a trial. A little rest. See how it feels, and if it didn't suit me, I'd simply leave. That's what I believed. But here's what no one told me. Getting in is easy. Getting out is not. At first, it sounds simple. If I don't like it, I'll go back home. But what I didn't expect was how much home would change while I was away. The house grew cold, quiet, and unfamiliar. Maintenance became a burden. Little things, dust, mail, bills, piled up faster than I thought. And then, there were my children. With the best of intentions, they began donating things, selling what they assumed I wouldn't use again. Some even talked about renting out the house, just to keep it from sitting empty. So when I said, I'd like to go back, they hesitated. Are you sure you can manage on your own, Mom? It's safer here, don't you think? We're only trying to do what's best for you. I know they meant well. But I also knew my independence was slipping away. And after months of being cared for, not cooking, not cleaning, not walking as much, I wasn't the same person anymore. The woman who once ran her household with confidence now questioned whether she could even live alone again. And that doubt, that quiet fear, kept me where I was. I'm not the only one. I've met others here who said the same thing. They came just for a short time, just to recover. just to test it out. But weeks turned into months. Months into years. And the life they left behind? It slowly disappeared. For some, the house was sold. For others, their savings were drained by long-term care costs. And one day, they realized there was no going back. Here's what no one tells you. Moving into a nursing home may sound reversible. But for most people, it isn't. The home becomes your whole world. The outside fades into memory. And before you even notice, temporary has become permanent. So if you're considering this path, ask yourself, are you prepared for the possibility that once you go in, leaving may no longer be an option? Because once you're settled, financially, physically, and emotionally, the barriers to leaving can be much higher than you ever imagined. And if you're still watching this video, and these stories speak to you, leave a comment below with the number 6. So I know you're still here, still listening. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell, so you don't miss the next chapter. Your support helps us continue sharing these real, honest insights, to help you make decisions with clarity, and to remind you, you still have choices. So now you've heard them all. 6 regrets I never saw coming. Until it was too late. Not dramatic regrets. Not headlines. But quiet losses. That took little pieces of me, day after day. I lost my independence. My sense of purpose. My privacy, my strength. And perhaps hardest of all, I lost the belief that leaving was still an option. Each of these regrets wasn't a single moment, but a gradual erosion of what once made me, me. And no one warned me. No one sat me down and said, think twice, this choice may be more permanent than you think. Or, ask yourself what you'll be giving up before you hand over the keys to your life. If someone had said those words to me, maybe I would have fought harder. Maybe I would have explored more ways to age with support, without surrendering my autonomy. That's why I'm sharing this now. Not out of bitterness, but out of hope. Hope that you, or someone you love, might hear this before it's too late. Hope that you'll pause, reflect, and ask yourself the real question. Is this truly what's best for me? Or is it simply what's most convenient for everyone else? Because no one should have to look back and wonder if they gave up too soon, just because no one told them what they'd be giving up. If this video has helped you think more deeply, please leave a comment below. Let me know which regret hit closest to home. Was it number 3? Number 5? Or maybe all of them? Hit the like button. Share this video with someone facing this decision. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications. Your support helps us continue sharing real, honest, human stories. Stories that don't just inform, but remind us what truly matters. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of your freedom. Take care of your choices. And most of all, take care of yourself.